Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you are audible now perfectly. Sir, others are joining. We'll wait for only 2 minutes.
Okay.
We have asked all our faculties and students to join. We'll start in couple of minutes, sir.
Sir, by 10:27 we will start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Perfectly. Perfect. Yes.
Audio on here.
अच्छा चल, एक्सेप्ट किया तेरा कॉम्प्लीमेंट। अब बता तुझे क्या चाहिए?
मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए, बस आपकी हाथ की वो स्पेशल वाली चाय पीनी है।
Sir,
सिद्धि
is the sound audible of that
इतना
video?
बड़ा मस्का।
Yes, sir.
मस्का नहीं
It's
ना,
audible. It's audible.
आपा सच में बहुत ही
It's audible, sir. Okay, Gupta sir.
Sir, you start, sir.
Can we start? Yes, sir.
Sir, we can start now.
Okay. Honorable Chairman, Raisoni Group of Institutions, Sri Sunil Raisoni, sir. Honorable Executive Director, RGI, Sri Pithu Raisoni, sir. Honorable Chief Guest of Function, Mr. Amol R. Patil, Examiner of Patents and Design, Indian Patent Office, Mumbai. Honorable Director, Dr. Preeti Agarwal, Madam. Deputy Director and IIC President, Dr. Pranab Charkha, sir. All deans, head of the departments, faculty members, and all student participants. On behalf of Institutional Innovation Council, GH Raisoni Institute of Business Management, Jalgaon, I welcome you all in today's IPR Awareness program under the flagship of Kalam program for intellectual property, literacy, and awareness campaign. That is Kapela. It is one of the initiative of IIC, Government of India, NIPAM, and number of agencies. It is giving a promotion for IPR, especially for patent publication and giving the financial assistance to the patent filer. So, hope all participants will be beneficial from the expertise talk by Mr. Amol Patil sir. So now I request our Deputy Director and IIC President, Dr. Pranab Charkha sir, to welcome sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gupta sir. At the outset, I would like to welcome Mr. Amol Patil sir on behalf of GH Raisoni Institute of Business Management. We welcome you, sir, and you are today. Your talk is very important in terms of creating an ecosystem which probably be leading towards the development culture in our institute, making and contributing India's vision for getting 5 trillion economy. And it is only possible if innovative minds coming out of engineering colleges or any other colleges can contribute, create some intellectual properties and convert them into commercialization. So this your session will be a stepping stone and a valuable guidance to all our participants today present over here. And initially, I would like to thank you for sparing your time, and I would like to thank Ministry of Education, Institutional Innovation Cell for giving us you as an expert to discuss on a topic that is of very emerging importance in days to come. And India is looking for that particular aspect with a very sensitive approach. And our IIC being very proactive in adopting such practices. Also, I would like to share on this platform that this year, for the first 2 quarters, we have been awarded by IIC star rating 2 out of 2. So we are in a situation and we are in a march to create our students with thought process of innovation, thought process of creativity, and intellectual property creation. So I welcome you, sir, on behalf of GS Raisoni Institute of Business Management. Over to you, sir, about what is.
Sir,
Thank you.
one minute, I just introduce your guest.
Am I clearly audible, sir?
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Pardon, sir. 1 minute, sir. So just I give the introduction of the today guest. Mr. Amor Ravind Patil, sir, has completed B from Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, and LLB from Dr. Ambedkar Law College, Mumbai. Sir has having work experience as a Bosch production system engineer for 1 year in Bosch Limited, Nashik, and sir is presently working as a examiner of patents and designs, Group A Gazetted Officer in Indian Patent Office, Mumbai, DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. Sir, we are fortunate to have such a guest with us. So now I request Patil sir to start the session, sir. Please.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I'm going to thank Manoj Charka, sir, for being here in today's session. I would be very thankful to Satu Gupta, sir, smoothly coordinating with AICT also and with the department also to arrange this fruitful session for your students. Okay, so before starting our session, I would like to say something about the mission. As we all know, we are celebrating 75 years of our independence. So, under the banner of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Government of India has come with a mission, and this mission is named as NIPAM. Okay, so NIPAM stands for National Intellectual Property Awareness Mission. Okay, and throughout this mission, we are encouraging and awareing students regarding various intellectual property rights. Okay. So before starting our session, sir, I am going to share my screen. Please confirm is it visible? Visible? No, that's visible. No. So let's start our today's session. So today's session is on IPR. So IPR, basically IPR and intellectual property rights. Okay. So these are basically legal rights, and these rights are resulting from the intellectual activities. Okay, so whatever intellectual activities you are performing while working in any of the field. Okay, that field may be industrial, that field may be scientific, it may be literary, it may be artistic, whatever may be the field, performing, or if you are coming across any intellectual activity, then those activities can be protected in the form of intellectual property rights. Okay, so the major question is which activities can be called as an intellectual activity. Okay, so whatever creative ideas you are having in your mind, whatever creative ideas you are getting in your mind, when you express those creative ideas in any of the form, then this medium of expression can be protected in the form of intellectual property rights. Okay, now before discussing in detail what are the intellectual properties, let's discuss what are types of property. Basically, properties are classified in two major categories. First one is tangible, and second one is intangible. Okay, so tangible properties are those properties which we can measure, or which we can touch, or which we can see by our naked eyes. Okay, so further tangible is classified into movable ones and immovable ones. Okay, so movable means the properties which we can move from one place to another place. Likewise, we are having gadgets, we are having bikes, we are having cars. So all these properties can be called as movable properties. Whereas the properties which we cannot move from one place to another, likewise your house, your buildings, your farms. So all these properties comes under the immovable properties. Okay, so in our day-to-day life, we are more focusing on the immovable properties or tangible properties. Okay, but there are some other properties which are coming or which we can create with the help of our brain. Okay, so those properties are called as intellectual property. So intellectual property basically form of intangible in nature. So intangible means the properties which we cannot see by our naked eye, or the property which we cannot touch, or the properties which we cannot measure. For example, many of you are using smartphones nowadays. Okay, so For example, WhatsApp is there in your mobile phone. Okay, through WhatsApp you are sending messages to your friends. Okay, for example, you have typed a message in WhatsApp, and as soon as you press on send button, immediately that message reflects on the screen of your friends. Okay, so the technology working behind that, or the operating system working behind that, you cannot see by your naked eyes. Okay, so those properties are called as intangible properties. So intellectual property is basically intangible in nature, but it can lead you to the creation of tangible assets also. For example, if you have created any product, then you can measure the dimensions of that product, you can touch that product, or you can see that product. Okay, so similarly, though intellectual property is intangible in nature, but it can lead to the creation of tangible assets also. Okay, now in intellectual property, we are going to discuss industrial properties, in which we are going to discuss patents, designs, trademarks, GIs. Whereas in copyrights, going to discuss artistic works, literary works, sound recordings, films. All these things comes to the head of copyrights. Okay, now next, what is the definition of intellectual property? Okay, so any creative ideas and expression of the human mind that have some commercial value, those properties we can call it as an intellectual property. In simple language, whatever creative ideas you are getting in your brain, okay, so when you express those creative ideas, and if those ideas are having certain some commercial value, then and then we can call it as an intellectual rights. Oh, sorry, intellectual properties. Okay, so in Marathi language or in Hindi language, we can call it as a बौद्धिक संपदा. Okay, so बौद्धिक संपदा means तुम्ही तुमच्या बुद्धीच्या बळावर कमवलेली जी संपदा असते, किंवा बुद्धीच्या बळावर तुम्ही जी संपदा कमवू शकता, अशा संपदेला आपण बौद्धिक संपदा असं म्हणू शकतो. ओके, सच प्रॉपर्टीज कॅन बी कॉल्ड ॲज इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टीज. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट, for example, if you are having a house, okay, then what are the rights you are having with those house, with this that house? You can sell that house, you can even mortgage that house, you can even give that house, you can even exchange that house. Okay, so similar rights you are getting with the intellectual properties also. So it is an asset, it can be bought, it can be sold, it can be licensed, it can be exchanged, like any other form of a property. Okay, now these are the 7 intellectual properties which we are going to discuss in our today's session. Okay, out of these, patents we are going to discuss in quite detail. Okay, that's why we are going to discuss patents in last of the session. Okay, and remaining we will be start discussing here onwards. Okay, but before that, what is the need for intellectual property rights? Okay, so बौद्धिक संपदा अधिकार प्रोटेक्ट करने की जरूरत क्या है, मतलब बौद्धिक संपदा जो भी आहे की या ज्या पण आपल्या बौद्धिक संपदा आहे त्यांना प्रोटेक्शन करायची काय गरज आहे. Okay, so let's discuss what is the need for intellectual property rights. Now, as we all know, technologies are changing very rapidly. Okay, what it means, for example, if you are using Samsung, and you are for example, Samsung has launched one feature in that mobile. Okay, similarly other mobile companies like Yamaha is there or Apple is there, they will work and try to launch the advanced version of that technology. Okay, so whatever technology you have invented, you have to protect that technology, otherwise anyone can copy. Okay, if you are not protecting it, then anyone can copy your technology. Okay, similarly, for example, now there is a wave of startup India. Okay, startup India is there, and if you want to launch a product in market through your existing business also, or through a startup also, then what will be the first step you have to do? The first step will be you have to perform a market survey, or you have to perform a market research. Okay, so in market survey, you will be getting inputs like this, whether this product is really necessary or not. If this product is necessary, then who will be my target customers. Okay, so such kinds of inputs you are getting in the market survey. Once you complete your market survey, you start research and development on that product. Okay, so during research and development, what you do, you are trying to finalize the dimension of that product, you are trying to finalize the design of that product. Okay, and once you finalize these things, you start manufacturing that product. Okay, and once you manufacture that product, before launching that in market, you have to perform certain kinds of marketings, you have to perform certain kinds of advertisements. Okay, so whatever steps I have explained, in each and every step, from market survey to advertisements, you have to invest your money, you have to invest your time, you have to invest your manpower. Okay, so all these efforts are invested. Okay, and when you finally launch that product in market, and after some days, suppose you come to know that someone has copied your product, someone has launched the same product that you have launched. Okay, then whatever efforts you have taken or whatever money you have invested, right, it go in vain. Okay, so to avoid such loss, what you can do is you can protect your product at the initial stage only. And what is the initial stage? Whenever your product is in research and development phase, you can protect at that stage only. So you can immediately file a patent, and after filing patent on that same day or on the next day, you can launch the patent market. Okay, so after that, no one will copy your. Okay, so if someone tries to copy your product, then you are having a legal rights. You can sue that person in court. Okay, so that is why it is very important to have intellectual property rights. And now also in the era of digitalization, there are lots of digitalization happens nowadays. Okay, there are lots of digitalization going on. Okay, so there are certain benefits of the digitalization is also there. There are certain losses also. Like for example, if you have stored your creative data anywhere else, somewhere in your computer, and there are high chances that your creative data might get stolen without your permission. Okay, so to avoid this, you can protect it in the form of intellectual properties. Okay, now basically intellectual property is a combination of brain, resource, and labor. Okay, so as we all know, God has gifted a mankind precious gift. Sorry, so precious gift is brain. Okay, and brain is having a capacity to think. Okay, through the thinking capacity of our brain, we are getting very much creative ideas in our brain. Okay, so whatever creative ideas you are getting, we get those ideas in our brain. Okay, so when you express those ideas, we will be requiring certain resources. Okay, so for example, if you have created a compound, chemical compound, then to express, for example, you got an idea of chemical compound in your mind. So for to express those ideas, that means to make this product, what you will be requiring resources like laboratories are there, then textbook, reference book, internet. This can be a resources for you. Okay, and you will be requiring certain manpower to perform those activities. Okay, so whenever you combine all these three things like brain, resources, and labor, the output you are getting will be intellectual property. Okay, now this is about the basics of the intellectual property rights. Now we are going to discuss one by one intellectual property in detail. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can ask me at the last of the session. We are having a question answer session also, and before that, we will be having a quiz session also, in which I am going to ask you certain questions, and you have to answer those questions in chat. Okay, so let's start with the first intellectual property, that is copyrights. Okay, so copyrights are, for example, these kinds of symbol. Where you have seen these symbols, uh, if you are reading certain textbook, reference books, if you carefully look at the second page of your books, then this symbol must be there. Okay, so this symbol signifies that this work is protected under copyright. Okay, so copyright का मतलब ऐसे होता है कि आपको कॉपी करने का राइट है तो नहीं. दिस इज नॉट द लिटरल मीनिंग ऑफ दैट वर्ड. द मीनिंग of copyright is that whenever you see such a symbol, that means you are not allowed to copy any of the context on any of the content of this work. Okay, so आप कोई भी चीज कॉपी नहीं कर सकते जहाँ पे भी आपको ऐसा सिंबल दिखता है. Okay, so on certain websites such symbols are there, on certain textbook reference books such symbols are there, on certain photographs such symbols are there. So, okay, so whenever you see such a symbol, you are not allowed to copy that content. Okay, so that is the meaning of this symbol. Okay, so copyright is a legal term, and these are rights given to the original creator. Whoever is the original creator, these rights are given to them, and these rights are given in 6 fields. We are going to discuss all these 6 fields. Okay, now, but before that, copyright is given for certain period of time. For example, if you are individual and if you have written a book, then the copyright must be given for your whole life, plus after your demise your family will enjoy those rights for next 60 years. Okay, now, but if you are an educational institute or if you are any entity, then those rights are valid only for 60 years. Okay, so copyright is given for certain period of time. And for it, copyright does not cover ideas and information themselves, only the form and manner in which they are expressed. For example, if you are having any idea with you, or if you are having any information with you, so having idea or information is not enough. Okay, if you want to protect that idea, if you want to protect that information, so first you have to express that information, or you have to express that idea. Unless and until you express that, it cannot get protected. For example, if you have an idea of a song in your mind, Unless and until you write down the lyrics of that song on paper, it cannot get protected. Okay, so or unless and until you record that song in the form of some video recording or in the form of certain sound recordings, then and then we can protect it in the form of copyrights. Unless and until you express it, it cannot get protected. That means having idea or information is not enough. You have to express that information. Then and then we can get it protected. Okay. Now with copyright, there are certain rights also, like rights of performers, rights of producer, then rights of broadcasting organizations. All those rights we are going to discuss. Okay. Now next. So the owner of copyright has rights not only in the original work but also in the creative work that is derived from the original work. That means the best example is, for example, nowadays there are so many movies are coming and such movies are based. Certain movies are based on certain novels. Okay, for example, many of you might seen Three Idiots. Okay, so Three Idiots was based on the novel of Five Point Someone of Mr. Chetan Bhagat. Okay, so Chetan Bhagat has copyrighted his novel. So the movie which is created on the basis of copyrighted novel of Mr. Chetan Bhagat. In that movie, Mr. Chetan Bhagat has certain rights. For example, uh, we are reading certain translated copies. For example, certain English novels are there, and whenever we are reading Hindi translations or Marathi translations of those copies, in those translated copies also, original author, that original English author, has certain rights. Okay, so for example, if you have written and you take a correct that. Okay, so the whole owner or you are the original creator of that book. That's why you are having a copyright of it. If someone is deriving certain creative things on the basis of your work, then in that creative things also you are having certain rights. Okay. Now these are the six fields in which copyright is registered. First one is literary, then second one is films, then dramatics, musical, artistics, and sound recordings. We are going to discuss one by one. So first one is literary. So there are so many faculties and students are coming to our office and asking us, sir, मैंने एक किताब लिखा है, मुझे इसको पेटेंट करवाना है. But mind you, books cannot be patented because किताब जो होती है या books जो होते हैं, it is a kind of literary work. So if you want to protect your books, then you can protect it with the help of copyright only. Because literary works contains like books are there, newspapers are there, question papers, catalogs, dictionaries, lectures introduced to writing, then computer software, which is most important. Right now, we are using various apps in our mobile phones. So if you develop any app, or if you develop any software, and if you want to protect that software, if you want to protect that app, you can protect it with the help of copyright only. It cannot be protected, it cannot be patented. Okay, so in India, copyrights, computer softwares, programming, algorithms, codings, then apps are not patented. Okay, if you want to protect it, then you have to protect in the form of copyright only. You have to just submit your source code. Okay, and to our copyright office, and your app is registered under copyright act. Okay, now if you want to protect the lyrics of a song, then you can protect in the form of literary work for copyright. Now next is artistic works. Then what are the kinds of artistic works? So any artist, whatever work an artist can do, that those works can be protected in the form of artistic works. For example, painter is there, he's doing some kind of paintings. Even our murtikars, work of sculptures. Okay, so if someone is doing such kind of work of sculpture, if someone is doing, for example, civil engineers are there, architects are there, they are giving us various plans of our buildings, they are giving us various designs of our buildings. Okay, so such kinds of work can be protected in the form of artistic work. Even when you go out and you click certain photos, those photos can also be part of artistic copyright. You can get a copyright over those photos also. Okay, now next is musical works and dramatics. In musical works, we can protect such kinds of graphical notations. Okay, and in dramatics, we can protect, for example, whatever you are performing in your annual things, like plays are there, recitations are there, dance is there. Okay, then choreographic work is there, script, scenario, cinematographic films, all these things can be protected in the form of dramatic work. Okay, so if you want to protect any of these things, you have to just visit our website. There are two modes of registering your copyright. One is online mode, one is offline mode. In offline mode, you have to just submit to our Delhi copyright office, or in online mode, from the comfort of your home, you have to just log in to our website. You have to create your profile. You have to submit your work and you have to submit the certain fees. Then you have to purchase a digital signature to upload all these things, and after that you can submit from the comfort of your home. Okay, now next is broadcaster rights. Okay, if I ask you, you see Kapil Sharma show on which channel? Okay, so Kapil Sharma show we see it on Sony TV, because Sony TV has its broadcasting rights. So broadcaster rights are those rights which are given to the broadcasting organizations, which are given to the broadcasting channels. Okay, so it may be a television broadcast or it may be a radio. So Kapil Sharma show we see it on Sony TV, because Sony TV has its broadcasting rights. We see Chala Hawa Yodhya on Zee Marathi because Zee Marathi has its broadcasting rights. Okay, yesterday we have seen our India versus Ireland match on which channel? On Star Sports, because Star Sports is having its broadcasting rights. So without the permission of the those channels who are having its broadcasting rights, you are not allowed to show any footage of it. Okay, so whenever we see footages of those shows or those matches in news channels, if you look carefully, you can in the left corner of the screen there is one word written like source Sony TV, source Star Sports, or in Marathi it is written as Saujanya Star Sports. Okay, so why they have to write these things? Because they have taken permission from those broadcasting channels, the having its broadcasting rights, and without their permission you cannot show their footage. Okay, so these are broadcasting rights, and these rights are given 25 years. Now next is performer right. And who are performers then? Actor, singer, musician, dancer, acrobat, juggler, whoever is performing on floor will get a performance. And these rights are valid for 50 years. Now this is about the copyright. So what things you have to remember? That copyright registration is not mandatory. Okay, so if you want to register it, you can register it. Otherwise, if you don't want to it is not compulsory, but it is always advisable. Okay, because the instant you write something, it is automatically protected under copyright. Okay, so copyright registration is not mandatory, but it is always advisable. For example, you have written a poem. Okay, and as I said, it is not registration is not mandatory, and the instant you write, it is automatically protected. So that's why you are not registered it under copyright. But after some days, you come to know that one of your poem is getting viral in the name of some other person. Okay, then what is the proof that you are having that this poem is written by you? So for such a proof purpose, what you have to do is you have to register your creative work. You have to register your whatever creative work you are doing in the form of copyright, so that we are going to give you a registration certificate, which will act as a proof in any court of law. Okay, so that's why though copyright registration is not mandatory, it is always advisable. Next is industrial designs. Now, industrial designs are, for example, whenever you are going to design any article. Okay, so articles are like handicrafts are there, watches, jewelries, fashion designers. For example, you might heard of Manish Malhotra, Sabyasachi. They are designing various kinds of designer clothes. Okay, so if you want to protect those designs of that clothes, then you can protect it in the form of industrial designs. Okay, now handicrafts, watches, jewelries, fashion designs, then luxury items, industrial, medical implants, houseware, furniture, electrical appliances, whatever may be the article. Okay, whenever you are going to focus on aesthetic aspect of that article, whenever you are going to focus on the external features of that article, like shape, surface, its size, shape, surface, or the 2D or 3D features of like patterns, line, color. Whenever you are going to focus on the aesthetic aspect of that article, then you can protect that design in the form of industrial designs. Okay, so here I have given a various examples of water bottles. Okay, if you see the top row there are all 1 liter bottles. Okay, but the shape, if you look at it, the shape of each and every bottle is different. Okay, the shape of each and every bottle is different. It have copied of someone else. Okay, so whenever you are going to design any article, you should keep in your mind that the article you are designing must be unique. That design must be unique. It should be new. It should not be copied of someone else. It should be already there in public domain. Okay, so whenever you design such an article, you can protect it in the form of industrial designs. Okay. Another feature is whenever you are going to design any article, your design must be such that the customers seeing your design must get attracted towards the design. Okay, so I have given certain examples here. So I am not promoting all those I have just given here for your examples, for your reference. Okay, if you see, these are the various designs of the bottles. Okay, there are various structure, various 3D features on the external shape of the bottles. Okay, here are the Dove shampoos. Dove shampoo bottles are here given for your reference. Okay, if you see the design of each and every bottle, which is different, okay, and it is quite attractive. Okay, it is attracting the customer. So whenever you are going to design any article, your design must be attractive. Okay, now these are bum chairs are there. These are tetra packs, glass, bottles, whatever may be the article. Whenever you are going to design and whenever you are going to focus on aesthetic aspect of that article, you can protect it in the form of industrial designs. Now next, the articles which we buy in the form of sets. For example, whenever you are going to buy a sofa, you always buy a sofa in the form of set, like 3+1+1. But whenever you are going to buy a jewelry, you buy jewelry in the form of set. Crockery items we buy in the form of set. Okay, so those articles which already sold, ordinarily sold together, or having the same general character of their designs, then we can protect them in the form of set of articles also. We can protect a single design of single article also, or a design of a whole set also. Okay. Now these are about industrial designs. And the term of industrial design is of initially we give it for 10 years. After you can renew it for next 5 years. That means total term is of 15 years. Okay. Once 15 years are completed, your design is open to public and anyone can use your design. Now next is trademarks. Okay. So if I ask you about these logos, then you can easily recognize these logos. For example, just a minute. So if I ask you, this logo belongs to this brand, so you can easily recognize that this is of Nike, this is of Adidas, this is of Puma, McD, Pizza Hut, Domino's. So how it is possible for you to recognize these brands so easily? Because these brands have created goodwill in market. These brands have created image in market. These brands have created identity in market. Okay. So similarly, for example, whenever you go out and if you want to drink a water, you go to shopkeeper and directly ask, "Ek Bisleri dena." Why you ask for Bisleri? Okay, why you ask for Bisleri? Because Bisleri has created such a goodwill in market. Bisleri has created such a good image in market, and that image may be due to their quality of service. That image may be due to their quality of product. Okay, so if you want to create such an image in market, if you want to create such an identity in market, you can create it with the help of trademarks only. Okay, so for example, if you want to buy a टूथपेस्ट देन आप क्या बोलते हो शॉपकीपर को कि एक कोलगेट देना. व्हाई यू प्रेफर कोलगेट? बिकॉज कोलगेट हैज क्रिएटेड सच आइडेंटिटी इन मार्केट. ओके, सो if you want to create such an identity in market, you can create with the help of trademarks. Okay, for example, if you want to open a cafe, okay, for example, आप कुछ तो कैफे को नाम दोगे, जैसे कि XYZ दिया आपने नाम, तो that XYZ name, अगर किसी आपको लगता है कि आपका जो ब्रांड का नाम है या आपका कैफे का जो भी नाम है, अगर कोई कॉपी ना करे तो आप उसे क्या कर सकते हो, उसे आप ट्रेडमार्क में प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो. जैसे कि अभी आप बहुत सारे फ्रेंचाइज देखते हो, फ्रेंचाइज आउटलेट्स देखते हो, जैसे कि अभी वो येवले अमृत तुल्य है या whatever franchise model is there, they have to first protect their brand. अगर फॉर एग्जांपल आपने XYZ नाम का कैफे खोला और आपने उसका ट्रेडमार्क नहीं लिया और आपको अगर फ्यूचर में लगता है कि मैंने इसका फ्रेंचाइज देना चाहिए, तो आप फ्रेंचाइज देने से पहले आपका कोई ब्रांड कॉपी कर सकता है. Okay, so to avoid these things, to avoid the copying your brand name, so what you can do is you can protect your brand name first in a trademark. You get registered it under Trademark Act. Then afterwards you can give it, or you can franchise it to the your customers or your partners. Okay, now so आप बस ब्रांड का नाम प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो क्या? नहीं. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल नाइकी इज देयर. ओके, नाइकी इज देयर ब्रांड नेम एंड this is the logo of Nike brand and this is the tagline. Okay, so you can protect not only brand name, but with brand name you can protect a tagline also. With that you can protect a logo also. Okay, even you can protect a sound mark also. For example, आपने ब्रिटानिया का एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखा होगा. जब ब्रिटानिया का एडवर्टाइजमेंट एंड होता है तब एक आवाज आती है, टिंग टिंग टिडिंग. ओके, सो these are called as the sound marks. ओके, सो आपको अगर लगता है कि साउंड मार्क भी आपको प्रोटेक्ट करना है तो आप वो कर सकते हो. जैसे कि अभी मैंने यहाँ पे आपको एक एग्जांपल दिया है. दिस इज द मेट्रो गोल्डविन मेयर का जो मैंने एग्जांपल दिया. ये जो लायन है उसका रोडिंग का उन्होंने ट्रेडमार्क किया है. लायन रोडिंग का जो साउंड है उसका उन्होंने ट्रेडमार्क किया है. तो आप साउंड मार्क भी ट्रेडमार्क करा सकते हो. Now next, these are the various examples like Reliance is there, Tata. These are the examples of various marks. Okay, so अगर आपने आपका कैफे खोला, उसको आपने XYZ नाम दिया और उस XYZ का आपको अगर ट्रेडमार्क कराना है, तो what things you have to keep in your mind जब आप एप्लीकेशन करते हो, तो एप्लीकेशन you can do you can apply for trademark through two modes. One is online mode, second one is offline mode. Okay, if whatever mode it is compatible for you, you can go with that mode. Okay, in online mode, you have to just log into our website, you have to create your profile, you have to upload digital signature, and you have to upload all the forms. Okay, then whenever you are going to file application, what things you have to keep in your mind that your mark, जो mark protection चाहिए, it must be graphically represented. Okay, it must be distinguishable. It must not be descriptive. Though in earlier slide I have explained, you can protect a tagline also. But ऐसे नहीं कि आप पूरा पैराग्राफ लेके आ जाओ, तो ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. So your mark must not be descriptive. That means it must be small, sweet, catchy. ऐसे mark होना चाहिए. Okay, and it must not be deceptively similar to known brands. Okay, जो existing marks है market में, उससे आपका जो mark है वो deceptively similar नहीं होना चाहिए. What is the meaning of deceptively similar? Deceptively similar means so while जो भी आपका मार्क है उसको देख के कस्टमर कंफ्यूज नहीं होने चाहिए. जैसे कि अभी Adidas is already there in market. If you come up with Abibas, then we definitely reject your application because Abibas is deceptively similar with the known brand Adidas. Okay, so ऐसे deceptively similar brands को नहीं लाने हैं. Okay, then in your trademark application, what things you have to avoid? You have to avoid geographical indications. अब geographical indications क्या होते हैं? जैसे अभी जलगांव कौन सी चीजें फेमस है? जलगांव बनाना इज देयर, जलगांव ब्रिंजल इज देयर. ओके, सो ऑल these things are called as geographical indications. Like Nasik grapes are there, Nagpur oranges are there. Okay, Kolhapuri chappal, Paithani sari. Okay, all these things are called as geographical indications. Okay, so in your trademark application, geographical indications should not be mentioned. Okay, geographical indication का उल्लेख उसमें नहीं होना चाहिए. Then deities, that means देवी देवताओं के फोटोज नहीं होने चाहिए, देवी देवताओं के नाम नहीं होने चाहिए. नेशनल लीडर, पॉलिटिकल लीडर, हीरो, सिंबल, लाउडरी वर्ड्स, ये सारी चीजें आपके ट्रेडमार्क के एप्लीकेशन में नहीं होनी चाहिए. Now, the day you file a trademark with us, you can write a TM over your brand name. And once your trademark is registered with us, you can convert that TM into R. Okay, so as per convention, you have to write these things because it may deter the potential infringers. मतलब आपका ब्रांड अगर कोई कॉपी करना चाहेगा, अगर उस पे आपने TM या R लिखा है, तो वो दो बार सोचेगा कि इसमें ऑलरेडी प्रोटेक्ट किया हुआ है ब्रांड. अगर मैंने इसका ब्रांड कॉपी किया तो ये मुझे कोर्ट में सू कर सकता है. That's why he will not copy your brand, or before copying your brand he will think twice. Okay, so that's why it is important to write TM and R in front of your brands. Okay, now next, this is about the trademark. Now next is geographical indication. जो मैंने आपको examples बताए थे कि बासमती राइस इज देयर, दार्जिलिंग टी, कंचीपुरम सिल्क, अल्फोंसो मैंगो, नागपुर ऑरेंजेस, कोल्हापुरी चप्पल, बीकानेरी भुजिया, आगरा पेठा, गोवा फेनी, पलक्कड़म मट्टा, देन नावरा राइस. ये जो सारे एग्जांपल्स है ये ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशंस के. तो ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशंस का मीनिंग क्या होता है वो हम जस्ट एक में आपको 2 मिनट का वीडियो दिखाना चाहता हूँ. उस वीडियो से आपका बहुत सारी चीजें क्लियर हो जाएगी.
अच्छा चल, एक्सेप्ट किया तेरा कॉम्प्लीमेंट. अब बता तुझे क्या चाहिए?
मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए, बस आपके हाथ की वो स्पेशल वाली चाय पीनी है.
बस इतनी सी बात के लिए इतना बड़ा मस्का?
मस्का नहीं नानी, आपा सचमुच बहुत ही रॉकिंग लग रही हो. ये साड़ी आप पर बहुत ही अच्छी लग रही है.
अरे ये तो स्पेशल लखनवी चिकनकारी है. लखनवी चिकनकारी पूरी दुनिया में मशहूर है. ये अपनी खूबसूरत और बारीक एम्ब्रॉयडरी के काम के लिए फेमस है. लेकिन पता है इसकी सबसे बड़ी खासियत क्या है?
क्या है?
ये एक रजिस्टर्ड जीआई है.
जीआई वो क्या होता है नानी?
जीआई का मतलब होता है जियोग्राफिकल इंडिकेशंस, हिंदी में जिसे भौगोलिक उपदर्शन कहते हैं. ये किसी समुदाय का बौद्धिक अधिकार है, वो विरासत जिन्हें प्रोटेक्ट और एनकरेज करने की बहुत आवश्यकता है. मुख्यतः इन टाइप्स में रजिस्टर्ड होती है: नेचुरल गुड्स, मैन्युफैक्चर्ड गुड्स, टेक्सटाइल्स, हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स, फूड स्टफ।
अच्छा।
चल अब ना किचन में चलते हैं और गर्म गरम चाय बनाते हैं।
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
किचन की ओर जाते हुए नानी ने छोटू को अपना देश घुमा दिया।
छोटू,
जी नानी।
ये देख, ये पेंटिंग देख। ये एक मधुबनी पेंटिंग है, बिहार की। और ये है हिमाचल की कांगड़ा पेंटिंग। तेरे नानू को देश की कला और संस्कृति से जुड़ी हुई चीजों को इकट्ठा करने का बहुत शौक है।
अच्छा।
ये कठपुतलियां देख रहा है?
हाँ।
ये राजस्थान की हैं। इसी तरह छत्तीसगढ़ से बस्तर ढोकरा, आंध्र प्रदेश से तिरुपति लड्डू, असम से मूगा सिल्क, नागालैंड से नागा मिर्च और मध्य प्रदेश के बाघ प्रिंट, ये सब रजिस्टर्ड जीआईज हैं।
ओके।
ये हमारे देश की कला और संस्कृति का प्रतीक है। हमारे देश में हुनर और कला का इतना भंडार है कि अभी से ही 300 से ज्यादा रजिस्टर्ड जीआईज हैं।
वाह नानी।
चल अब तू चाय बनाने में मेरी मदद कर। एक बर्तन में पानी ले और उबालने के लिए रख।
यस बॉस।
पता है छोटू, तुझे मेरे हाथ की चाय इतनी पसंद क्यों है?
क्यों है नानी?
क्योंकि ये स्पेशल दार्जिलिंग की चाय है। ये देश की सबसे पहली रजिस्टर्ड जीआई है, जो 2004 में रजिस्टर्ड हुई थी।
लेकिन नानी एक बात बताओ, इन जीआई से फायदा क्या होता है?
देखो छोटू, ज्यादातर जीआई गांव के समुदाय के होते हैं। इनसे कारीगरों, बुनकरों, किसानों की आमदनी बढ़ती है। उनको अपनी मेहनत का सही दाम मिलता है और उन वस्तुओं की डिमांड भी बढ़ती है। साथ साथ खरीदने वालों को भी विश्वास हो जाता है कि वो एक जेन्युइन चीज खरीद रहे हैं।
वैसे नानी मुझे एक आइडिया आया है।
अरे वाह छोटू, तेरे को आइडिया?
यस नानी, अगले महीने फॉरेन से मेरे कुछ दोस्त आ रहे हैं। क्यों ना मैं उन्हें हमारे देश के कुछ सुंदर जीआई प्रोडक्ट्स गिफ्ट में दूं?
ये तो बहुत ही अच्छा आइडिया है छोटू। उन्हें ये चीजें जरूर पसंद आएंगी और हमारे देश की कला का नाम भी होगा।
देखा नानी, आपकी संगत में मैं कितना इंटेलिजेंट हो गया हूँ।
Okay, so GI is clear now. Okay, so GIs are nothing but a geographical indications, and it is a sign used on a goods that have a specific geographical origin and possesses qualities or a reputation that is solely due to the place of origin. जैसे कि अभी नासिक ग्रेप्स है, तो नासिक ग्रेप्स क्यों फेमस है? क्योंकि इट इज ड्यू टू देयर नेचुरल वेदर। उस डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जो वेदर है, वेदर और जो सॉइल का टेक्सचर है, उसके कारण वो चीजें फेमस है। जैसे कि नागपुर ऑरेंजेस है, नागपुर ऑरेंजेस में भी वेदर कंडीशंस की वजह से और वो सॉइल के टेक्सचर की वजह से जो उसका टेस्ट आता है, उसका कलर आता है, which is quite different. Okay, so similarly, Jalgaon bananas are there. The qualities of those products slightly different than other similar products in other areas. Okay, so due to the geographical origin, कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स में बहुत अच्छे से अच्छी क्वालिटीज आ जाती है। सो उस क्वालिटीज के बेसिस पे हम उसको जीआई टैग में रजिस्टर करवाते हैं। जैसे कि अभी जलगांव डिस्ट्रिक्ट के दो मैंने आपको एग्जांपल बता दिए हैं, जैसे कि जलगांव बनाना इज देयर एंड जलगांव ब्रिंजल इज देयर। ओके, सो सिमिलरली अगर कोई जलगांव डिस्ट्रिक्ट के प्रोडक्ट्स है या नेचुरल गुड्स है जो कि आपको लगता है कि ये बहुत फेमस है और इनका बस उसी रीजन में, मतलब वही उनका ओरिजिन है, अगर आपको लगता है तो आप उसके लिए जीआई एप्लीकेशन कर सकते हैं। ओके, बट कीप इन माइंड इट इज नॉट अ इंडिविजुअल राइट। इसका मतलब ये किसी एक को नहीं दिया जाता, इट इज गिवन टू द एंटायर कम्युनिटी, इट इज गिवन टू द एंटायर जोग्राफिकल दैट एरिया, इट इज गिवन टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विच इज वर्किंग ऑन द वेलफेयर ऑफ दैट प्रोडक्ट। ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आपको लगता है कल कि जलगांव डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जो खानदेशी पूरन पोली आती है, वो पूरन पोली अगर आपको जीआई टैग में रजिस्टर करवाना है तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा कि जो भी एक रजिस्टर्ड और आपको पहले एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाना पड़ेगा, विच ऑर्गेनाइजेशन उसको पहले रजिस्टर कराना पड़ेगा और उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो खानदेशी पूरन पोली हो गई या खानदेशी जो भी फूड आइटम्स है उसके वेलफेयर के लिए जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन काम करती है उसके थ्रू आपको एप्लीकेशन करना पड़ेगा। then and then you can register for GI tag. So it is not individual right. ये किसी एक को नहीं दिया जाता. It is given to an entire community or group of farmers or cultivators with that. Okay. So now these are the examples, like Darjeeling tea is there, Makrana marble is there, and Ratlami Sev. These are various kinds of examples. So now next is SICLD. SICLD stands for Semiconductor Integrated Circuit Layout Design. Okay, so we are using various electronic gadgets. Okay, so in each and every electronic gadget, we are having a component called integrated circuit. And in those integrated circuits, such kinds of circuitries are there. Okay, so whenever you design the layout of these circuitries, such kinds of, I have given a sample over here. For example, if you design a such layout, like input output is there, resistor is there, register. So now if you design such kind of layout of those circuitries, then these layouts can be protected under SICLD Act. And we are giving you a monopoly of 10 years to protect your designs. Okay, so SICs are nothing but fabricated from a complex series of layers of a semiconductor metals and insulators. Okay, and whenever you are going to design or whenever you are going to design any SIC layout, then what things you have to keep in your mind, that if that layout must be original. Okay, it must be distinctive from the existing layouts. It must be capable of distinguishable from the existing layouts that are available in market. Okay, and it must not be commercially exploited. Before protecting your layout, it should not be already there in public domain. Okay, so whenever you design such a layout, you can protect it in the form of SIC. There are various applications now. Space technology is there. Whatever electronic gadgets, from smaller ones to larger ones, whatever electronic gadget is there, in each and every electronic gadgets, we are having application of SIC. Okay, now next and most important is patent. So patent is one of the oldest forms of IP, and it is started from 1700s in the European countries. So, the major aim of patent system is to encourage the economical and technological development by rewarding the intellectual creativity. So whatever efforts you are taking, whatever creativity you are doing, okay, so your creativity must get rewarded. This is the basic aim of patent system. Now, major question is, what is the definition of patent? What is the meaning of patent? Okay, so patent is an intellectual property, right, relating to invention only. पेटेंट जो है हम इन्वेंशन को ही देते हैं. देयर आर टू टर्म्स, एक होता है डिस्कवरी, दूसरा होता है इन्वेंशन. हम पहले दोनों के डिफरेंस समझ लेते हैं, उसके बाद में हम आपको पेटेंट की डेफिनेशन समझाते हैं. ओके, नाउ फर्स्ट इज डिस्कवरी. सो डिस्कवरी मींस फाइंडिंग अ न्यू थिंग और प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ अ नोन मटेरियल. जो मटेरियल और जो चीजें ऑलरेडी नेचर में है, उसमें उसको अगर कोई डिस्कवर करता है तो उसे हम डिस्कवरी कहते हैं. डिस्कवरी को पेटेंट नहीं दिया जाता, पेटेंट दिया जाता है इन्वेंशन को. So discover, for example, Newton's law. We have studied Newton's law in our school life. Okay, so Newton's ने क्या किया था? Theory of gravity दिया. Okay, so उसने so न्यूटन ने theory of gravity दिया था. कि कैसे उसने डिस्कवर किया थियरी ऑफ ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स नेचर में उसने कैसे डिस्कवर किया था. एक बार वो एप्पल के पेड़ के नीचे बैठे थे और उनके सर पे एप्पल गिरता है और वो सोचते कि यार ये एप्पल नीचे ही क्यों गिरा, ऊपर क्यों नहीं गया. ओके, देन ही हैज गिवन अ थियरी ऑफ ग्रेविटी. बट न्यूटन से पहले भी उस पर नीचे ही गिर रहा था. इसका मतलब ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स ऑलरेडी नेचर में था, उसका इन्होंने जस्ट डिस्कवरी किया. ओके, सो डिस्कवरी को पेटेंट नहीं दिया. सिमिलरली प्लांट सेल आपको पता होगी. प्लांट्स में जो सेल्स होती है वो किसने डिस्कवर किया? रॉबर्ट हुक ने. बट बिफोर रॉबर्ट हुक देयर वर सेल्स इन प्लांट्स. ओके, मतलब रॉबर्ट हुक के पहले भी प्लांट्स में सेल हुआ करती थी. दैट मींस these things are already there in nature. If someone is discovering these things, then we can call it as a discovery. We can never grant patent discovery. अगर आपको पेटेंट चाहिए तो वो आपको बस इन्वेंशन पे ही मिलेगा. देन व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ इन्वेंशन? सो इन्वेंशन का मतलब होता है, इन्वेंशन का मतलब होता है कि इट कैन बी प्रोसेस. दो ही चीजें होती है, एक तो वो प्रोडक्ट होगा, एक तो वो प्रोसेस होगी, जो प्रोडक्ट बनाने की प्रोसेस होगी. मतलब एक तो प्रोडक्ट, जिसको हम मराठी में बोलते हैं, एक तो उत्पादन, या तो उत्पादन बनाने की प्रक्रिया, उसको प्रोसेस बोल सकते हैं. ओके, सो उत्पादन या उत्पादन बनाने की प्रक्रिया, ये दो ही चीजों को हम इन्वेंशन बोल सकते हैं. मतलब पेटेंट अगर आपको चाहिए तो एक तो वो प्रोडक्ट होना चाहिए या तो वो प्रोसेस होनी चाहिए. दो ही चीजों को पेटेंट मिल सकता है. लेकिन कब मिलेगा पेटेंट? अगर वो तीन कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई करेंगे. तीन कंडीशन कौन सी होती है? पहली होती है न्यूनेस, दैट इज नोवेल्टी. योर इन्वेंशन शुड बी न्यू. ओके, एंड सेकंड कंडीशन होती है इन्वेंटिव स्टेप, दैट योर इन्वेंशन शुड हैव इन्वेंटिव स्टेप। अब इन्वेंटिव स्टेप का मतलब क्या होता है, whatever technical knowledge you are having, okay, whatever existing knowledge you are having, if you develop certain technical advancement over that knowledge, then we can call it as inventive step। जैसे कि अभी आप हम कौन सा टेक्नोलॉजी यूज कर रहे हैं कम्युनिकेशंस के लिए, 4G टेक्नोलॉजी। अर्लियर देयर वर 2G, then 3G, now 4G, and we are focusing, we are moving towards 5G। Okay, in China 6G is already there, so this technical advancement we can call it as an inventive step। Similarly, अगर मैं आपको बेसिक एग्जांपल दूं, आप पहले मेमोरी कार्ड्स यूज करते थे, ओके, अभी भी आप करते हो मेमोरी कार्ड, लेकिन जो पहले के मेमोरी कार्ड्स होते थे उसकी साइज बहुत बड़ी होती थी, और उसमें जो डाटा स्टोरेज करने की कैपेसिटी था वो कितना था, 256 MB, 512 MB। ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज साइज ऑफ मेमोरी कार्ड हैज रिड्यूस्ड कंसिडरेबली, and the data storage capacity has increased so much। Okay, nowadays we can store more than 1 TB data in our small memory cards, okay, micro cards। Okay, then because memory card का knowledge तो बहुत सालों से था, जो उसपे ईयर ऑन ईयर टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट हो रही है उसको हम बोल सकते हैं टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट, उसको हम बोल सकते हैं इन्वेंटिव स्टेप। ओके, अगर आपके प्रोडक्ट में या आपके प्रोसेस में न्यूनेस है, इन्वेंटिव स्टेप है, दैट मीन्स टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट है। और तीसरा होता है industrial application, that means if your product is capable of having industrial application, मतलब वो जो प्रोडक्ट है आपका या जो प्रोसेस है आपकी वो इंडस्ट्री में एक तो यूज करते आना चाहिए या तो इंडस्ट्री में उसको हम बना पाए। अगर ऐसे तीन चीजें हैं तो आप उसको पेटेंट के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हो। नाउ लेट्स कम बैक टू द डेफिनेशन ऑफ पेटेंट। पेटेंट इज एन इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट ग्रांटेड टू अ रिलेशन इन्वेंशन ओनली। ओके, so it is a monopoly right, exclusive and monopoly right। We give it for 20 years of time from your date of file, the day you are filing your patent application, from that day, once your patent is granted, from that day we are giving you 20 years of time in which these rights are exclusively given to you only। Okay, so ये आपको एक monopoly rights दिए जाते हैं। Within that period of 20 years, no one is allowed to make your product, to use your product, or sorry, to make your invention, to use your invention, to import your invention, or even to sell your invention without your permission। Okay, के परमिशन के बिना कोई भी आपका प्रोडक्ट या प्रोसेस को यूज नहीं कर सकता, बना नहीं सकता, इंपोर्ट नहीं कर सकता, और इवन बेच भी नहीं सकता विदाउट योर परमिशन। सो फिर इट इज योर ड्यूटी, जैसे कि आपको पेटेंट मिलता है तो उसके बाद आप कोई कंपनी से टाई अप करके आप लाइसेंस दे सकते हो, या आपका सीधा पेटेंट आप बेच भी सकते हो, या किसी को 5 साल के लिए लाइसेंस दे सकते हो और बोलोगे कि कुछ एग्रीमेंट कर सकते हो उनके साथ कि आप जितना प्रोडक्ट बनाओगे उसमें से इतना इतना परसेंट रॉयल्टी मुझे देना। दिस काइंड्स ऑफ थिंग्स यू कैन डू टू commercialize your patent। Okay, now 3 requirements of getting patents are there, like novelty, that means newness, second one is inventive step, that means technical advancement, and third is industrial applicability, means your product or your process, that means your invention can be used in industry or it can be produced in industry। Okay, अगर ये तीन चीजें हैं तो आपको पेटेंट मिल सकता है। Okay, now next is this is the first Indian patent, it was granted in 1856। 1856 में पहला पेटेंट ग्रांट हुआ था इंडिया में, and it was just nothing hand pump। Okay, ये हैंड पंखा था। तो इससे आप एक चीज कंफर्म कर लो कि आपके जो भी मिसकंसेप्शंस है, बहुत सारे मिसकंसेप्शन सोसाइटी में है कि पेटेंट मतलब बहुत बड़ी चीज होती है, पेटेंट मतलब नंबर ऑफ कंपोनेंट ज्यादा होने चाहिए, पेटेंट मतलब पढ़ा लिखा आदमी ही पेटेंट कर सकता है, या पेटेंट के लिए पैसे ज्यादा लगते हैं। ये सारी जो मिसकंसेप्शंस है आपकी वो आज के सेशन से दूर हो सकती है। जैसे कि दिस इज द फर्स्ट पेटेंट ग्रांटेड इन इंडिया, इट वाज जस्ट अ हैंड पंखा। अब ये पेपर क्लिप है जो हम पेपर को बाइंड करने के लिए यूज करते हैं। ओके, सो इसका साइज कितना छोटा होता है, फिर भी इसको पेटेंट मिला हुआ है, मींस साइज ऑफ इन्वेंशन डज नॉट मैटर, उसमें नंबर ऑफ कंपोनेंट्स कितने हैं डज नॉट मैटर। अब उसमें 3 बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स है, नोवेल्टी, इन्वेंटिव स्टेप, टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट, एंड व्हाटएवर मे बी द साइज ऑफ योर प्रोडक्ट, whatever may be the size of your invention does not, पढ़ा लिखा आदमी हो या इलिटरेट आदमी हो वो भी पेटेंट फाइल कर सकता है। और जो फीस है वो आपको, अगर आप इंडिविजुअल हो, अगर आप स्टार्ट कंपनी हो, आप स्मॉल एमएसएमई हो, या आप एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट हो, आपको बस 5,600 रुपए में पेटेंट का फाइल है। वेरएस अगर आप कोई बड़ी कंपनी हो तो आपको 28,000 लगेंगे। पहले कॉलेज को भी 28,000 रुपए लगते थे, बट अभी जो हमारा लेटेस्ट अमेंडमेंट हुआ है 20 सितंबर 2021 का, उससे हम उस दिन से कॉलेज को भी और एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स को भी बस 5,600 में, मतलब नियर अबाउट 80% फीस हमने रिड्यूस कर दिया है। ओके, नाउ माइकल जैक्सन तो आप सबको पता हो। ओके, सो व्हेनेवर ही परफॉर्म्स ही लीन अगेंस्ट द ग्रेविटी। उसके बहुत सारे वीडियोस अगर आप देखोगे तो वो एक सेकंड में बहुत ज्यादा लीन होता है अगेंस्ट द ग्रेविटी। अगर ये आप ट्राई करना चाहोगे तो डेफिनेटली यू विल फॉल डाउन. ओके, सो हाउ इट इज पॉसिबल फॉर हिम? बिकॉज ऑफ हिज शूज. उसके जो शूज है उसके वजह से इसको ये पॉसिबल है. उसका शूज उसने 1993 में पेटेंट करवा लिया और उसके शूज का जो स्ट्रक्चर आप देखोगे तो ये जो आपको दिख रहा है उसका सोल में वी kind of this kind of slot is there, okay, and floor on which he is projecting, on which he is performing in this on that floor there are certain projections. When this slot restricted by these projections he can lean against gravity. Okay, so this is quite famous patent also. It is called a celebrity patent also. 1993 में ये पेटेंट उन्होंने ग्रांट किया, उनको ग्रांट हुआ था. यहाँ उनका नाम भी मैंने हाईलाइट किया है आपके रेफरेंस के लिए, माइकल जैक्सन. ओके, now we have covered almost all the intellectual properties. Each and every intellectual property is governed by certain laws. Okay, अगर ये legal rights है तो इसका मतलब किसी ना किसी एक्ट के तहत आपको ये rights मिल रहे हैं. Okay, जैसे कि अभी patents है तो patent is governed under the Patent Act 1970 और इसका जो registration है it is compulsory, and once your patent is granted you will be given 20 years monopoly from date of filing. The next is trademarks. Trademarks मैंने बताया था आपको जब ब्रांड बनाना है, मार्केट में आइडेंटिटी बनानी है तब आप ट्रेडमार्क्स का हेल्प ले सकते हो. ट्रेडमार्क अगर आपको प्रोटेक्ट करना है तो ट्रेडमार्क एक्ट 1999 के तहत आप प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो. इसका रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑप्शनल है, अगर आपको करना है तो आप कर सकते हो, अदरवाइज इट इज नॉट compulsory, but it is always revisable. Okay, now its term is initially we are giving it for 10 years. After you can renew it. Okay, then next is designs. Designs are protected under Design Act 2000. इसका registration compulsory है. इसकी term शुरुआत में 10 साल मिलते हैं, बाद में आप इसको और 5 साल बढ़ा सकते हो. That means total 15 years. After 15 years, it is open to public. Then geographical indications I have already given so much examples. I have shown video also. Okay, so geographical indications ऑफ गुड्स एंड रजिस्ट्रेशन एंड प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट के तहत आप इसको प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो. इसका रजिस्ट्रेशन भी कंपलसरी है. इसका टर्म इनिशियली हम 10 साल देते, बाद में आप इसको रिन्यू करा सकते हो. लेकिन जीआई टैग इज नॉट ए इंडिविजुअल, ये किसी अकेले को नहीं मिलता. इट इज गिवन टू कम्युनिटी, इट इज गिवन टू अ ग्रुप ऑफ फार्मर्स, इट इज गिवन टू अ रजिस्टर्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट इज कॉपीराइट. कॉपीराइट रजिस्ट्रेशन इज डन थ्रू कॉपीराइट एक्ट 1957. इसका रजिस्ट्रेशन भी ऑप्शनल है, मतलब इट इज नॉट कंपलसरी, बट इट इज ऑलवेज रिवाइजेबल. And its term is if you are individual author then it is for your whole life, plus after your life your legal family will enjoy those rights for next 60 years. But if you are an institution, if you are an entity, then it is valid only for 60 years. Plant protection. अभी plant protection क्या होता है? आपने शिमला मिर्च देखा है, पहले शिमला मिर्च ग्रीन कलर में होती थी. Okay, but nowadays Shimla mirch is available in red also, capsicum is available in yellow also. Okay, so if you develop such a new variety of existing plants, if you develop any new variety of plants, then these varieties can be protected. Protection of plant varieties and Pesticide Act 2000 registration compulsory होता है, इस 18 साल के लिए मिलता है. Integrated Circuits SICLD Act 2000 के अंदर प्रोटेक्ट होता है और इसका टर्म 10 साल होता है और इसका रजिस्ट्रेशन कंपलसरी होता है. For your simple understanding, if you have any idea with you, whenever you express that idea, you can go for a copyright. And if your idea is in the form of invention, मैंने invention का क्या बताया था आपको, प्रोडक्ट या प्रोसेस. अगर आपकी आइडिया प्रोडक्ट या प्रोसेस के फॉर्म में है तो आप उसको पेटेंट करा सकते हो. अगर आपको मार्केट में आइडेंटिटी बनाना होता है, ओके, आपको मार्केट में एक इमेज बनाना है, एक गुडविल बनाना होता है मार्केट में, तो आप ट्रेडमार्क के लिए जा सकते हो. अगर आप किसी आर्टिकल को डिजाइन करते हो तो उसका अपीयरेंस फोकस कर रहे हो, उसका एस्थेटिक फोकस कर रहे हो, तो आप डिजाइन के लिए जा सकते हो. नाउ this is about my presentation. Now we are having a various career opportunities in IPR field. Okay, so you can I'm working as an examiner of patents and design. This is a class 1 officer. Okay, so similarly you can work as an examiner of trademark, examiner of copyrights. These are the government jobs you are getting in private. Okay, in private you can practice as a patent agent, trademark agent, JRA, PSRA. If you complete your law degree, you can practice in a patent litigations also, IP litigations. Okay, now next we are having a quiz session now in which I am going to ask you certain questions. But before that, let me explain these 2 slides. Okay, so there can be multiple intellectual properties in single. एक प्रोडक्ट में मल्टीपल इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी हो सकती है. जैसे कि अभी एप्पल का मैंने मैकबुक आपको दिखाया है. ओके, सो एप्पल का मैकबुक जो है, यहाँ पे आपको एप्पल का लोगो दिख रहा है. लोगो मतलब क्या होता है? लोगो आपको क्या सिग्निफाई करता है कि ब्रांड. ओके, सो ब्रांड अगर आपको है मतलब आइडेंटिटी आ गई. आइडेंटिटी अगर आपको क्रिएट करना है मार्केट में तो आप कौन से इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी में कर सकते हो? उसको ट्रेडमार्क में. ओके, इसका जो स्क्रीन है एलईडी स्क्रीन, earlier they were LCD displays, liquid crystal displays. Nowadays they have LED, light emitting diode displays. Okay, so this is the technical advancement for the existing knowledge. Whatever existing knowledge is there, this is the technical advancement. Okay, so technical advancement in the product or a process, we can do it, go for patent. Okay, so screen technical advancement, we can go for patent. If you look at the design of the product, okay, overall design of the product, यहाँ पे आपको curves दिख रहे हैं, यहाँ पे आपको एक taper दिख रहा है. Okay, so whatever overall design of the product is there, you can protect it in the form of industrial designs. Okay, now whichever product you bought, आप जो भी खरीदते हो उसके साथ आपको एक यूजर मैनुअल मिलता है, या आपको एक इंस्ट्रक्शंस मिलता है, कुछ तो बुकलेट मिलता है या कैटलॉग मिलता है. सो दीज थिंग्स कम्स अंडर द स्कोप ऑफ लिटरेरी वर्क. दैट मींस वो आपको कॉपीराइट का मतलब होता है. देन in motherboard there are integrated circuits, so those integrated circuit can be a part of SICLD. Okay, now प्रेशर कुकर सबके घर में होता है. प्रेशर कुकर का जो लॉकिंग अरेंजमेंट है, जो कंस्ट्रक्शनल फीचर्स है, जैसे कि कोई प्रेशर कुकर को, जैसे ये मैंने यहाँ पे दिखा है, इसको ऊपर से पहले ढक्कन रख के स्लाइड करके उसका लॉकिंग सिस्टम होता है. दूसरे जो प्रेशर कुकर होते हैं उसके पहले ढक्कन पहले अंदर में डाल के बाद में उसको प्रेस करके वो लॉक होता है. सो ये जो कंस्ट्रक्शनल फीचर्स है किसी प्रोडक्ट के, ये आप पेटेंट करा सकते हो. इसका जो ओवरऑल लुक है, प्रोडक्ट का जो ओवरऑल लुक है वो आप डिजाइन करा सकते हो. इसके साथ जो बुकलेट आपको मिलता है वो आप कॉपीराइट करा सकते हो. और इसका जो ब्रांड है, इसका जो ब्रांड कौन सा, फॉर एग्जांपल प्रेस्टीज इज देयर, हॉकिंस इज देयर, पिजन इज देयर, व्हाटएवर मे बी द ब्रांड, you can protect it in the form of trademark. Okay, so now it's your turn. Now I request you to answer all those questions in chat box. Okay, so first image is of painting, that is Mona Lisa painting. Okay, so painting मतलब क्या होता है, आर्टिस्टिक वर्क. सो आर्टिस्टिक वर्क अगर आपको प्रोटेक्ट करना है तो आर्टिस्टिक वर्क आप कौन से इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी में प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो? You can write answers in chat box. Okay, artistic work can be protected in the form of each intellectual. Yes, Dr. Tushar. Christina, very good. Dipen, very good. Yes, as it is an artistic work, you can protect your artistic work in the copyright. Okay, now next, second image is of sculptures. So sculpture is again an artistic work. So again, it is a form of copyright. Now third image. In third image, there can be multiple intellectual properties, which I have just given an example of. Similarly, here it is. You can have a logo means trademark, design means industrial designs, technology means patent. Okay, in booklet means copyright. Now in fourth image का बहुत ही easy है, मैंने example भी दिया था fourth image का. Fourth image. Yes, very good. विश्वजीत, वेरी गुड. ओके, फोर्थ इमेज इज ऑफ ट्रेडमार्क. बिकॉज मैंने बोला था आपको, जब मार्केट में जाते हो तो आपको अगर पानी पीना है तो आप सीधा बोलते हो कि मुझे एक बिस्लरी चाहिए. दैट मीन्स इट इज अ ब्रांड नेम, इट्स अ ब्रांड वैल्यू. सो दैट्स इट इज ऑन. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज फिफ्थ. In fifth image there can be two things, like design of bottle is there and brand name is there. That brand name is trademark and design of bottle means industrial designs. Now next, which type of IP protect the painting painted by the artist? Similarly, artistic work again copyright. Okay, now what protects the advanced disc brake or bike developed by the inventor? So advanced disc brake. ओके, डिस्क ब्रेक मीन्स प्रोडक्ट हो गया, एडवांस मीन्स टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट हो गया. टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट इन द फॉर्म प्रोडक्ट प्रोसेस अगर है तो आप उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हो? डिपेंड, वेरी गुड. टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट इन द फॉर्म प्रोडक्ट प्रोसेस अगर है तो आप उसके लिए पेटेंट में प्रोटेक्शन उसका ले सकते हो. ओके, नाउ which of these is a geographical indications? मैंने geographical indications बोले थे, बहुत सारे examples दिए थे आपको. So out of this 5, which is the correct answer? Geographical indication, that means, yes, depend. Geographical indications means some things are certain products are famous in certain areas. These are famous due to their qualities. Okay, so the answer is right in study. Okay, now next, what does a trademark protect? Trademark क्या protect करता है? मैंने बहुत सारे examples दिए आपको. इससे example दिया था, Nike का example दिया था. Very good. Logos, names. Okay. Then what is the validity of patents? Patents are valid for how many years? Very good. It's for 20 years. Okay. Now, if you write original story means literary work. Okay. So if you write an original story, what type of intellectual property gives you the right to decide who can make and sell copies of your book? Okay. So story means literary work. Again, literary work can be protected in the form of which intellectual property? Copyright. Very good. Imagine a cricketer wants to set up his company to sell his own range of clothes. What type of intellectual property can he use to show that the clothes are made by his company? That means if a cricketer wants to launch a brand in market, जैसे विराट कोहली ने अपना ब्रांड लॉन्च किया है, MS धोनी ने अपना ब्रांड लॉन्च किया है, युवराज सिंह ने अपना ब्रांड लॉन्च किया, मतलब किसी क्रिकेटर को अपना ब्रांड मार्केट में लॉन्च करना है और उस ब्रांड तो बाद में कपड़े बेचेगा, तो उस ब्रांड का प्रोटेक्शन कौन से इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी में कर सकता है? ब्रांड. अगर ब्रांड आपको मार्केट में लॉन्च करना है, दैट मीन्स अगर आपको मार्केट में इमेज बनानी है, आइडेंटिटी बनानी है, तो आप ट्रेडमार्क का हेल्प ले सकते हो. दैट इज करेक्ट. वेरी गुड दीपेन. नेक्स्ट, if a company develops a new technology that improves its main product, new technology improving its main product, that means technical advancement in the form of product again. Okay, so it can be a part of patent. Now I have completed my session. If you have any questions, now floor is open for questions. Okay, Gupta, I have completed my session. If the students are having any questions, you can go ahead.
Thank you, sir. If any participant is having any query, please either post or we can unmute also, and they can ask.
Okay, you can unmute.
If any participant is having any query, please post your query in the chat box, or they can unmute also.
Sir, please take some screenshot at your end, and you can
Yes, sir, I'm
forward
taking,
it
sir.
me
I'm
to
taking, sir. Yes,
forward it
sir.
me
I'll send
afterwards.
you, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Is there any queries there?
Yes,
Sir,
Dr. Tushar, can is possible to take a pen on physical design like bottle cabinet. Okay, so if you are more focusing, Dr. Tushar, when I have explained in my industrial designs, if you are focusing on aspect only, then you can go for a design. If you are focusing on the functional aspect of any product, then you can obviously go for a patent. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने कैबिनेट बोला है, कैबिनेट में जैसे कि आपने कुछ फंक्शन ऑलरेडी कैबिनेट जिससे कि कैबिनेट में प्रॉब्लम होती थी, वो एज अ सॉल्यूशन आपने एक नया कैबिनेट इन्वेंट किया है, तो डेफिनेटली आप उसके लिए पेटेंट के लिए जा सकते हो अगर उसका फंक्शनल एस्पेक्ट है. तो अगर उसका ओनली एस्थेटिक एस्पेक्ट है तो आप डिजाइन के लिए जा सकते हो.
okay. Any other query? Any other query from any
You can
participant?
unmute yourself also and you can ask. And you can ask in Marathi, Hindi, English, all three
Yes,
languages.
yes. You can take any language and you can unmute and you can ask also. You can unmute also. Okay, sir. I think there is no query, sir. If any
If
queries
you
there,
want to
sir, I
know
will
feedback
forward
of
to you,
your
sir.
of today's session, you can also.
Yes, sir. Sir, if any queries there, I will post to you, sir, and they will get to you, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
In the last, I am thankful to Mr. Amor Patil, sir, to give a very informative session, and it will certainly help to upgrade the quality of faculty members and student participate in innovative activity like IPR, copyright, trademarks, etc. And they will be able to distinguish each and every category, either it may be literature work or it is artistic work or like this. Thank you, sir, for giving the time for our students and faculty members. So I request all participants. I'm posting one link as attendance link. You just post it and you select the center name as a GH Raisoni Institute of Business Management. Okay, because there are a number of centers are there in the list. 1 minute. Just type copy paste. I posted the link. Okay, you will get certificate from 30 FM regarding the participation certificate. And you, in this form, please select the center GH Raisoni Institute of Business Management. Okay, just I show the screen also. 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
If your students are having any question, me, I will surely try to
okay.
those ways. Okay, sir.
So this is the form, okay, where you have to select the center name here. So in the center name, in the last college name is there. In the last, that is in the GH Raisoni Institute of Business Management. So you select this name and you write all this data and you name participant number like this and you submit immediately to get a certificate. Okay. So thank you, sir. So thank you, sir, for giving time.
Thank you so much.
So now we can the session is concluded. Everyone can leave. Please note down this link. I will post also in WhatsApp group also. Okay, thank you.